Hi, my beautiful Life Path 33. Welcome to today's tarot reading. I just wanted to begin by reading a few lines from this book, Women Who Run with the Wolves. So here it goes. A woman who avoids all confrontation begins to feel better, but it is temporary. This is not the learning we're after. The learning we're after is to know when to allow right anger and when not. So, usually I get a feeling about the reading and before I touch the cards, and I feel like there's something about righteous rage or anger today. But let's begin and see what the first card has to reveal for us. So the first card is the completion card. Wow, this is so beautiful. It's so interesting. Like the missing piece. I feel like it could actually be a sacred rage, right? Because Life Path 33 is often detached from its anger in a way. I mean, we are angry about a lot of things outside of ourselves, but usually we're not allowed to process and feel our anger. We start feeling guilty or shameful too easily because we want to take care of everybody else's emotions but not stand for our own justice. So maybe you grew up feeling like you wanted to say a lot of things but you didn't because you wanted to keep the peace, or a lot of times you had to act more mature than your age. And maybe the missing piece in your completion journey is to feel your anger, allow yourself to no longer hold back. The line between knowing how to assert yourself without destroying everything can be tricky, right? Because that's the thing about extremes, right? Because if we are just going to be absolutely passive and a people pleaser, that's not healthy either. But because of our childhood experiences and trauma we carry, and many of us with Life Path 33 do have a lot of childhood trauma, we tend to become extreme people pleasers. But on the other side, you may also absolutely become very, very resentful and not know how to channel that anger into some form of justice. And I think sometimes you really need to allow yourself to scream in a pillow, or find some nature and scream alongside the trees and share your emotions with the rivers, and also write something, make something out of your anger, both at a personal level but also in a creative or purposeful way. So that's what I feel in terms of the first missing piece. You're getting really amazing cards today. Totality. Wow, so interesting. So you see, like, the missing piece for completion to happen, that will eventually lead to the totality of your being. And in yesterday's reading, I was talking about how important it is to embrace your shadows and your dark side and balance it out. And a lot of times Life Path 33 seems to really suppress their dark potential, even though 99% of our reality is being created by our unconscious and subconscious. So I feel like totality here means is that reminder again, that once you begin to embrace your boundaries, your sacred rage, your anger, and knowing that you are not supposed to be this overgiver who just sacrifices everything. Because if you don't check your own boundaries, it also has potential for you to not only become a martyr but a destroyer. It's not like just because you're Life Path 33 so you're supposed to be godly. A lot of times you'll always see that the story can go either way. Some people who started their journey trying to be saviors became absolute destroyers because they just couldn't protect their own aura and energy. So I feel like the journey of totality and completion is like a return to your wholeness, and your wholeness is possible when you will allow yourself to embrace your dark side. Now let's move on to the next card and see what this card has to reveal for us. Conditioning. Yeah, now you see how the cards are moving in a very connected way. Because what is conditioning? Conditioning is essentially us being disconnected from our truth, from our authentic nature, our true self, from a very early age. Because for survival, you have to attach to your biological parents, your society, your culture, your environment. And to do that, you have to, like, children are watching and looking at their environment and learning more from the presence and the examples of what they are witnessing rather than what elders are telling them to do. So there's that saying that children learn more by example and less by instruction. And I feel like this is what it means, right? Your people pleasing nature is a result of you not having anybody who cared to understand that you are a wise, genius, amazing, kind, loving soul, but you perhaps do not know how to take care of yourself. And if you had healthy parents around you or a healthy society, that would have made you know your value, but also how to protect yourself, right? Like, this is giving me the memory of You know how even therapists require therapists, even doctors require doctors, and similarly, like huge visionaries and caregiving nurturers like Life Path 33 do require to be taken care of. You can't abandon your own needs to a degree that and I feel like why we get so used to abandoning ourselves is because our environments teach us that it is okay to completely erase yourself and your needs, and we are usually, our kindness and empathy is used against us. So Life Path 33 gets very accustomed to being praised and liked for abandoning themselves. And I feel like this is where the conditioning could be rooted in a parental figure or your environment having a huge impact on you to abandon your anger, because anger is often very much related to the truth, like our true self. It's like your gut feeling that tells you something is off. We are not, there's like a division happening between your true self and the self that you have to keep up just to belong in the environment you're born into, or in the society you're living in. So this is where the conditioning is like an obstacle for your totality and for your completion to happen. The completion's missing piece is your righteous rage, and the totality requires you to embrace your anger and your dark side and your shadows and bring it to a balance. And that is possible to happen when you look at the conditioning, that it's not like you were born a people pleaser. It's like you did not get the care and the environment that actually taught you how to balance your divine gifts of empathy and kindness and service, by loving yourself first, by knowing how to not pour from an empty cup, because they actually encouraged for you to pour from an empty cup. Now you see, wow, moment to moment. Now this makes so much sense, right? What does moment to moment mean then? Moment to moment simply means here that this is when you will see that practically mindfulness is going to be a huge part of your awakening journey, right? Because to wake up from the conditioning and the childhood trauma, you do require to also be connected to the present moment, to your body's needs, to yourself. And I don't know about you guys, but as a Life Path 33, for me, I was always dissociating from my body. Like I used to feel like I'm not in my body. I'm either too much in my mind with so many racing thoughts and ideas and, needs about saving the world, changing the world, or other times I'm just somewhere in the spiritual realm, bouncing here and off in there in space. My dreams were vivid, but I would never understand that how much damage trauma had done to me. And your body is a huge teacher. That book, The Body Keeps the Score, is very important because it's that book that actually talks about how trauma stays in our bodies, in our sensations. So sometimes you'll see it's not only the physical full blown diseases that happen, which eventually guide you towards something being wrong with the body. Sometimes it's like, let's say you're speaking to someone and your body starts shaking, you start being triggered and you feel anxious, you don't feel safe in that relationship. And this is a signal, this is reminding you of something, like a deep wound that was created in your childhood. Maybe you, when you saw other people suffer, you felt they're suffering too much in your body, and maybe you were very energetically sensitive. Now you can, one of the biggest healing for Life Path 33, according to me, is practicing mindfulness and simplifying your life. It's far from easy. I am still in practice about it, but I'll tell you, the days when I have my slow morning, because, and I literally practice this, that I go from point one to B, and I just tell myself that how do I not get distracted in between, and how do I just do this? Like if I'm walking down the stairs, can I just be present walking down the stairs instead of just, because see, the mind always wants to race from one thing to the other. But if you're really present with your body, trust me, if you like, go one by one, like let's say you want to have a glass of water, you want to clean the kitchen, but, and whatever, you want to cook later, you want to read something, but if you just be present with one thing at a time, you'll see the rest of your day goes amazing. Trust me on that. And that's when, it's like, if there's a saying, right, you make the wall brick by brick. You can't just build the whole wall in one go. And some of us with Life Path 33 are highly ambitious, but without any grounding. So grounding will require you to practice more mindfulness. Let's see what the next card has. Again, existence, so connected, right? Like you see what's happening here. It's like these are universal big cards, like completion and totality are like total universal big cards. Then you came back to your trauma on earth, your conditioning. Then your remedy and healing is mindfulness. This is when you start to exist. This is when you question that your worth is not dependent on how big a martyr you are, how good a performer you are, how much you achieved, and how ambitious you were, but simply by being a vibration of self love, self respect, boundaries. Your wisdom is profound. You are the master teacher, but maybe the master teacher needs to learn to exist and be. How's your breath? Do you even look at your breath when you're breathing? Do you even listen to your body's signals when you're hungry, when you want to drink water, when you want to sleep? And it's like maybe you need to go back and discover what you like. Maybe you like something like going for a walk in nature, and maybe you like a certain kind of like flower. I don't know what it could be. These things are just coming to me, that you simplify your life and enjoy the little things of life. And this is how you make the profound. It's not like just because you're existing you will not live your big service oriented life. You can, but you have to know that if your battery, mobile battery, is 10%, how are you going to do like 10 tasks that you had to do? So you are that mobile battery, and you need to recharge first by being mindful, by existing in the present moment. Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting this card to come. The source. This is the complete story now. You see, today has been such an amazing reading, even though I was feeling a little bit, ungrounded in the beginning. So I took my time before I started the reading. But now it makes a lot of sense. So completion, full circle, coming back to source, right? Because this is when you will connect back, when you are fully, your body, it begins to release trauma. You begin to be present in the present moment, when you're no longer afraid of suffering, but you rather see it as a blessing, and you begin to exist and take life for both good and bad. The source, the divine realm, starts passing on the easier blessings. And when I say blessings, I don't always mean like life path 33 is not always looking to get rich or like all of these things, even though we do we're on earth and we do need to take care of ourselves. But I feel like this is where you get so much divine strength. In fact, like I have to make a video about this, and I feel like it would be tomorrow. But like the toughest battles are like given to the bravest soldiers. And this is where you begin to see that all the trauma that in your, like what you survived, most people wouldn't last a single day. That's just how it is. But this is where you become the source, you exist, and you become part of the source, and your mission will be fulfilled. So it begins with you loving yourself, is the main message, that you have to own your anger, you have to own your boundaries, and you have to really really begin to, I think this is where I want to end today. You have to begin to see what your anger is trying to communicate to you. And because if you see that anger is such a valuable emotion, and it always has something to tell to us. So yeah, maybe some of you can drop comments when this video finds you in your life, and I would love to see if something resonated with you. Like, share, subscribe, share this video with somebody you know who's life path 33 and may require this today. And I provide pre-recorded personalized tarot readings on request. So thank you so much. I will see you, my lovely people, tomorrow.